Welcome back to Ishigo. And in this episode what we're going to do is we're actually gonna construct the highway, because in the last episode we've finished up the garbage collection. The episode before that we finished up the power situation, the nuclear power plant. You can go check them out. Links will be in the description down below. But in this episode we're actually gonna get started with the entire highway construction, because people need to get around and we actually need to start building up the city. Also, what we're going to do in this episode is probably build some sort of a coastal city or a coastal village actually. And it looks really pretty and it got actually lots and lots of detail in it. Highways can actually be very useful, and in my case with the Ishigo series and with this first Ishigo island, they are really useful because the highways I'm constructing right now are some sort of a barrier or some sort of a wall dividing the real city and the suburbs, and you will see that in a little bit because when I place my highways, I go all the way around the island, especially with where I'm gonna build the city, and I'm going straight through. So it actually acts as some sort of a wall. And you can actually see that because of how I laid down the entire highway grid. We've got one giant area that's representing the city. We've got another giant area that's gonna be representing one massive suburb. And also I'm actually gonna divide the suburb, but thanks to the highway, I actually already have laid down the entire grid for my city. And that is pretty interesting because if you lay down your highways, you usually don't think about that. For this city, I think we've got a nice balance between the real city and the suburbs, and also in between we've got some sort of an intersection that's gonna be connected, or that's gonna connect to maybe even 3 highways all at once. And in between that little intersection we're probably gonna have some sort of an industrial area, so people from the suburb who are living in the suburb can actually go really easily to their works, and people who are living in the city, they can do the same thing. One thing that was actually annoying while I was constructing this entire highway project is you need to place like 2 highways really close together, and the spacing between them in one instance isn't always the same as the spacing between them when you are placing down a highway 30 miles down the road. And that's something that's really driving me crazy because you can see in this video as well that I tried to remove it and I tried to redo it, especially in corners, or especially when you're making like a 10 degrees turn. It's really hard, or 10 degrees, or like between 10 degrees and maybe 40 degrees when you are trying to turn one highway, or both of them when you're trying to turn them. It's really hard to make sure both are the same distance apart from each other. And that was really hard to actually make sure that everything worked out the way it did. But I think overall that was actually a thing that bugged me, and hopefully there's like some sort of a mod that would actually take care of that, so it will snap into place or anything like that. Because the new update with the snaps, how they did it with like the road guides and stuff, it will help a bit, but not when you are placing down highways so close to each other that it actually intervene with each other. I don't know if you guys have noticed, but the highway is a little bit sunken, and that has a special reason, because what I want to do is I want to have the highway at the same height as the coastal area, so where the water meets the land and stuff. And on top of that we're gonna have some sort of quay next to the highway, and probably around 10 units high or 10 meters high, and after that we're actually gonna have the city and the suburb. And I think that's gonna give a really nice effect, especially with like bridges going across and walkways going across it. It just looks a lot better in my opinion. Another thing that I haven't done yet is place down guardrails, and especially for the highways, I said it in episode number 1, is I'm gonna place guardrails down on every highway I'm gonna place, and I'm still gonna do it, but not yet at least. So I want to finish up the highways and intersections first before I'm gonna actually place the guardrails. In the next episode I will probably do it, but not in this episode. I've talked enough about the highways, how I've constructed them, my difficulties and my thoughts about them. What I want to talk about is actually the live streaming I've been doing lately. So I've been streaming the last 2 Saturdays starting from 6 p.m. Central European Standard Time, and we've been playing some Planet Coaster, and it's just fun. So guys, if you have anything to do at that time, go ahead and watch my live stream. Also consider subscribing and stuff, it will help me out a lot. And let's get back into this project, because what I also want to talk about is the small little coastal village you see me build in a couple of minutes. This little village is constructed near the end of the highway because it is connected. And this small village is for the rich and wealthy people of the entire island, and it got everything. It got like really high-end apartments, it got a police station, a fire department, a clinic, and even like a small little school. So yeah, this entire thing got everything, and it's packed in this really tiny space at the end of the highway. When you want to get over here, you actually need to go through the highway, through the tunnel, and I used the same tunnel design as I did in the last 2 episodes. This tunnel design is your typical tunnel design that I used in episodes 1 and 2. It got like a small little concrete base, and on top of the base we've got a couple of AC units to keep the entire tunnel cool, and also the air gets flowing through the tunnel. But one thing that I've added on to this tunnel area over at the village is the power. So the power also goes through the entire tunnel, and it will connect up with a transformer unit, and after that I will actually use a couple of utility poles to actually get the power across. And I think it will actually look a lot better with these things combined with each other, because otherwise you need to have like unseen cables, or you actually need to run a line all the way across the mountain, and it just looks a little bit ugly. So therefore I choose this option, and overall I think it turned out pretty great. Like I said earlier, the entire village got everything, from a police station to a fire department and even a church. And this entire village got a lot of detail in it. For example, take the police station and the fire station. So the police station and the fire station are actually combined on the same terrain, because of the fact that I didn't have enough room for the fire station to be on a separate area of the village. So I actually combined it with the police force. And on the ground of the police force, I actually placed some sort of a small little garage where the fire department is. And also what I've placed down next to that is the detailed part, is I fenced up the entire thing, but also some sort of small little fire department training ground where officers from the police force and officers from the fire department can actually practice on how to extinguish fire. The same goes for the clinic as well. So the clinic, it got its own little space on the opposite side of the police force. It's got lots and lots of detail. For example, we've got a small little area where a dumpster is placed. And the amount of detail in this entire village, it is actually crazy. The same goes for like a small little boulevard that runs through the entire village from point A to point B. And it actually goes behind some of the high-end apartments. And I actually want to include some sort of boulevard, because with these high-end villages, so to speak, it just pretty much common to have like some sort of a boulevard area where people will walk through and will actually watch some ships dock and some yachts and stuff like that. That's something I'm probably gonna place in the next episode, are a couple of yachts, and also I'm gonna expand the village a bit, because right now it's a little bit small. That is pretty much the stuff I want to talk about today. I'm gonna play some music until the time-lapse ends, and I'll see you after that. Right now the coastal village is complete. I'm gonna show you guys some cinematics. Thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe if you want to see more content. And I'll see you guys in my next video. Take care and goodbye.